Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Carla and that's the name of my channel. And today I have a hair tutorial and it's Elizabeth Midford and she is a character in the Black Butler. And I am going to show both how I made the headpiece as well as the hair. So this is something that I would personally do with a wig because I like to stay closer to character. But I wanted to show people also how you can do it with your own hair. So stay tuned. First, I'm going to start with the hairpiece.
Before we get started, I wanted to say a few things. So I made this tutorial mainly because I wanted to help people when it comes to cosplays. I like to use my own hair because I like to save money and not use wigs. So I hope you enjoyed this. I try to keep this as short as possible, but this video isn't that short because I also had a portion where I made the actual hairpiece and I wanted to show it in the same video. I hope this helped. Thank you for watching. So here are the supplies. I will explain why I needed them throughout the video. The first step that I did was measure the length of my fabric that I needed by putting it around my head like a headband and making sure to keep the length that I needed. Once I was done with the length, I pinned it. So I pinned it throughout the length, leaving a width of 3 inches, and then I cut the fabric out that I needed. The next step was folding in the length of the fabric. I folded it in 1/4 of an inch on both sides. And this is what the folded / pin fabric looks like. The next step was folding the fabric in half and ironing it. It does help to iron it because it stays in place better when gluing. This is what the fabric looks ironed. Next, I placed the fabric on the headband to figure out where the placement was going to be. I placed the ends where I wanted the main portion of the headpiece to go. After this, I started gluing. I used E6000 glue, but hot glue can be used as well. I feel that E6000 looks less bumpy, but you have to be very careful because it does stain the fabric. I did one of the sides and then I did the other. I made sure that I was pulling the fabric as I was gluing to avoid wrinkles. One thing that I didn't show was how I glued the headband throughout all the sides, and this is because I let it dry between sessions of gluing the headband. Next, what I did was create the main portion of the headpiece. I used a sock because the filling didn't want to hold its shape very well. So with the sock, it does hold the shape much better and it makes it a lot easier. I did the sock by folding it inside itself, like you would do with a sock button. The next thing that I did was I took a square piece of fabric and pulled it through the center of the sock button. I glued it so it would hold its place, and then I started shaping it until I was satisfied with the shape. I sewed it for it to hold its shape. Next, I took the ribbon and wrapped it around. I wrapped it around 4 times and each time in a different direction. Once I was done with the ribbon, I glued a simple gold button to the top. You need to make sure if you're going to add the button to hold it in place for a while. The next step was adding the lace. So what I did was I added a circle of glue to the bottom portion of the bun. Also want to make sure that you're holding the lace in place just to make sure that it adheres to the glue. The final step is gluing the headpiece to the headband. You want to be sure to use enough glue.
And here's my hairpiece all finished. It's pretty sturdy. It could definitely go through a con, and I recommend you before you start your hair to actually put it on, so you don't mess up the other portions of your hair trying to put it in once you have the pigtails. So I would just recommend, if you're going to be doing this to your own hair, or if you're going to wear a wig, to first put on the headpiece to make it easier to put it on later.
The first thing that you want to do is just brush out your hair and do a middle part. I also added dry shampoo while brushing my hair because I recently washed it and I felt that it needed something extra to hold better. The next thing that I did was started putting my hair up. One thing that I did do was take a small portion from the inner top section and folded it into a loop, making sure that it reached my forehead like bangs would do. And next, just repeat on the other side. Next, you can take some bobby pins and pin the top of your hair. It will take some messing around, but it does end up looking like bangs. And then you'll use the headband to cover the bobby pins. And now what I did was I just started teasing my hair to cover the loops around it. You can use extensions. That's something that I didn't do in this, but that's something that you can consider. It would actually cover it better, and if you have short hair, that would definitely help. And after covering the loops, I just started curling my hair. I definitely recommend you use some type of product, whether it be hairspray or something that has some hold in it, so the curls will hold better and look better. This is the final look. I muted it because it was a backup intro. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial.